Okay, today I'm going to show you how to fix the issues with your Ryobi electric mower, push mower, power not coming on at all. It may have started intermittently where it'd come on and go out, come on and go out, and finally just has no power at all. The biggest issue I found is right here where the handle attaches to this bracket. See these three screws here? Ryobi put these three in and they're screwed into plastic. Well, as you wear and tear this mower, put wear and tear on it, these screws, they wear, the plastic gets worn out and these screws pop out. So when the screws pop out, this metal bracket pivots forward. Each time you push the mower back and forth, left, right, these will pivot forward and pinches this power wire right here to where eventually it pinches off the wires inside and breaks them. Now those wires are really thin. There's 3 wires in there. If you look at the sheathing, you can't see any break on the outside of the sheathing, but it does pinch the wires and break them on the inside of this wire harness. So if you look up here, you might see a wire like this, maybe a little pinch mark there, something like that. And then when you slice it long ways, you do not want to slice it this way. Slice it long ways real carefully, and if you open it up, you'll probably see 3 broken wires like that. And that's what's causing you to have no power. So what you need to do first is remove the plug in the back or the bagger, whatever you have on it. Take out the 8 Torx screws, which is a number 20 Torx screwdriver. You got 2 here, you got 2 over here you need to take out. Then you've got 2 in the front on this right side, here and here, 1 here, 1 here. And then you want to take off the height adjustment handle. There's 2 Phillips head screws there. So take that handle off. Put all your screws and your handle into a jar or a cup or a bowl or something so you don't lose it. But keep them all in one place. And of course, take out your battery. So once you get the screws out, this housing will lift up. But be careful because there's still wires connected to the top of the housing and then the motor's inside. So you can lift it up, push it over to the side. It'll expose your wire harness here. Now the wire harness, once it gets inside here, there's a little plastic lever or plastic bracket that holds it in place. Just take out one of the screws, then loosen up the second screw, and you can turn that top piece of the bracket to the side, then this harness will lift up. Then the end of the harness is just connected with like a Molex connector. So just push the tabs on the side, push the tab in the center, and pull that out, and you've got your wire harness free. So then, after you do that, you make your long ways cut right here where the pinch point probably is. You can expose the wires inside, there's 3 of them. And you probably see them broken like that. So what you need to do is take your wire strippers, strip these wires back, connect each color back to itself, and then you want to wrap each color individually. You don't want to put them all together and then wrap them all at once. Each wire needs to be separate. And then either put together electrical tape, or if you solder them or whatever you do, go ahead and do that. And once they're all individually wrapped and back together, you can put them back in their sheathing, and then wrap this up with electrical tape, as you can see, like I did here. And then also what I did was I bored out this hole a little bit bigger than what it was. I cut a little bit out, so if the bracket were ever to come loose, there's a little more play here where if this bracket hit this wire, it may not damage it like it did previously. And what I also did was replaced the factory screws with 2.5 and 2-inch number 10 machine screws with a locking nut on the end. So what I did was I drilled through this plastic once this bracket was off, took my drill bit, drilled all the way through, put these machine screws in with the washer, then on the back side, put in this washer with the lock nut. I used the red Loctite on it also so it doesn't come loose, and just made that super tight. Hopefully it holds. We'll see. And you can do the same thing to the other side. If that bracket came loose, you can secure that bracket also with these machine screws. Back here on the back side, if you take a look inside the chute, right here, I use a 3-inch machine screw. You can see it sticking out here at the bottom of the bracket. It's a little bit long. The plug still goes in there, but if you want to cut this off right here after you get the lock nut in, you can. And as far as the top 2 machine screws, I put in, you know, on the bracket here. Once you drill through here, put those in with like a 2-inch screw here, about a 2.5 or 2.25 inch here. That should not interfere with this housing going back on. There's nothing in this housing that would land on top of the extra screw that would prevent it from being put back in place. So hopefully that fixes your issue with no power. And if you have intermittent high speed all the time, it'll go slow, it'll go high speed. It may fix that, but if it didn't fix it, come up here to this part of your handle where this wire harness goes in. There's some torque screws under here. You take this off, and there might be some pinched wires in here. Probably the blue one, I believe, operates the fast speed. Look for any pinched wires up here, repair those in the same manner, put them back in place. And then also on this underside here, in this handle, there's a square hole. And there's a little nub that sticks out here. Well, then when you take apart this handle, that nub slides down to here. When you put this back in place, you need to take that little nub, put it back into the square hole on this mower handle. Otherwise, it'll slide down here and it'll always be in high speed mode. But I don't recommend taking this off unless you absolutely have to, and you can't fix the high speed any other way. Anyway, I hope that helps. If you have any questions in the video, I'll answer them best I can. But Ryobi, I was trying to research it before I had my issues. Ryobi didn't have an answer, Home Depot didn't have an answer, and nobody else online seemed to have an answer. But after looking at it, this is what I found, and this is what fixed my issues. Thanks for watching.